I'm Johnny Engineer Turmel, running for Prime Minister of Canada in the 2011 election, and I'm here to tell you why low-level radiation is so dangerous. When you hear them say on TV, oh, low-level radiation, not dangerous, they're lying.
Peace and blessings, family. Sister Ajali. That was a snippet you heard from this video, and I'll put a link to this in the description box down at the bottom. Before you do all the things that are readily accessible in the pinned comments, where you go and buy my books to support my warning, because I'm the only black person giving you the facts, not my opinion, not my grand personality. I'm giving you the facts, whether you like me or you don't. Radiation doesn't give a damn. Now, the reason why I have all of these persons in the title, Greta Thunberg, Nylah says, and Minister Enqi, and the mutated frogs of Chernobyl, is because they're all related. Greta Thunberg just recently did something very, very telling in terms of there must have been some high-level meeting where the nuke industry and those who run the Bilderberg Group and all the other groups out there, the World Economic Forum, so on and so forth, have decided they're tired of losing and they want to put in their last desperate effort to continue the one weaponry that pink folks control that they think is going to take out vast stretches of people. And so you see a whole new, we're going to drop the mother of all nuclear bombs scenario going on in the media between grown men who are the heads of major powers who should know better than to act like 3-year-olds, but it's on purpose. The hysteria of this time where they're making lunacy seem like the new normal, it's all strategic. So here you see nuclear power goes woke. Greta Thunberg admits keeping plants online is a better option than coal. You know, one thing you will never see at a coal mine is dudes running around in the paper radiation suits, even though those things don't work, those hazmat suits and all the, masks that they put on in order to filter out the radiation, and it doesn't work, especially if you're that up close and you're getting the gamma wave particles coming at you. Then yeah, you're toast within a week or two. But you never see those at the coal plant. They may have Geiger counters, but they don't have Colga counters, okay? Because they do not emit forces. Coal does not emit forces that spew out and attack all matter, organic or inorganic. So for them to keep blaming climate change on something inert, when radiation, especially tritium, I found out about that daggone tritium that Japan keeps saying, oh, don't worry, we're just going to let the tritium out. They even stopped studies on how devastating a force hot radioactive water is to all organic life forms and to the polar caps themselves. That's why them suckers are melting, okay? I could have even thrown Oliver Stone in there, but it was too much for one title. But he is now doing a nuclear documentary, or he has already produced it and the reviews are out. I don't give a damn. It is a nuclear love story filled with lies. It's just, for someone who is known for revealing the details, this dude suddenly went all stupid. And he and Greta are just rolling out. I mean, it's so scripted. And I knew when I saw Greta from the early onset, and she kept going on and on about climate change, climate change. I knew that she was working for the dudes up top. There's no doubt, especially with the way that she looks strikingly like the Nazi Helga, whatever the heck. This isn't accidental. These people don't play games with their propaganda. The Nazis just came over to the US to accomplish what they were slowed down in accomplishing with Germany, okay? So what's this dude have to do with Nylah says and Minister Enqi? And also the Chernobyl frogs. Well, my channel, all my channels were taken down, and I think it is in a synchronization with them trying to push nuclear once again. And in order to make it seem as if it wasn't something against me, no, it didn't have anything to do with nuclear, they would have to take down their low-hanging fruit. Now, I'm not trying to get into any battles. It's a given. And putting the larger connections together, it's necessary to state patterns. What I mean is that Cynthia G ain't going to be going anywhere. She can be up here advocating pure genocide as long as it's against black people in some regard, right? Because you got folks on the other side who are attacking black women relentlessly, hiding behind their skirts, blaming every single thing wrong on black women. As long as the big players and all of that get to keep spewing their nonsense out there, then they could use those who have smaller platforms to hide those they really don't want you to hear, which is pro-black us. I'm not the only pro-black person out here by any means, thank goodness, all right? But I'm the only one telling you about that daggone radiation. Now, of Nylah says and Minister Enqi, I wish them all the best. I really do. I'm examining greater connections, not just them as their own personalities up here. The reason I put Minister Enqi in there is because, like the Minister of Wellness, I was just informed, and it troubled me so much that I had to come and do a share about it, that he's pushing CMOS, and he's saying that his CMOS is better than Caribbean CMOS. There's no place on this planet you can get away from Fukushima. So the dear brother who brought to my awareness Minister Enqi selling CMOS, and everybody, it's targeted towards black us. And I've gone over how Oppenheimer stated himself that they need to be able to contaminate 1 million people in order to have a hope of killing 500,000 people. So when I see something so specifically targeted at us, and it's CMOS, I'm like, oh, the hell no, all right? So I shared with the brother, this is the Comprehensive Test Ban Treaty Organization. It ain't me, all right? And even in this article, they are so heavily trying to obscure the full meaning of the data that they are sharing, that they're using language that's just BS. If you understand radiation, then you know that nothing here says that Fukushima is still happening. They're trying to say, oh no, but it's low levels. It's outside of Japan, below harmful levels. Well, I'll show you more about that. And then they even go over the radioactive baby teeth that happened from the nuclear testing, which is why there's no nuclear testing going on right now, because people, white people, worked tirelessly to prove how deadly this stuff was. And I know how deadly this stuff is because of their work. I thank them for that. I know we would not be going through what we're going through if white people hadn't accumulated an absolute paranoia about all the hell and carnage that they've exacted upon the planet. So white people should be going pro-black, pro-separation, not segregation, right? But pro-separation. All right, that's all I'll say on that. But in this, I just want to read that the findings from the Comprehensive Test Ban Treaty Organization, 9 days after the accident, the radioactive cloud had crossed northern America. 3 days later, when a station in Iceland picked up radioactive materials, it was clear that the cloud had reached Europe by day 15. Traces from the accident in Fukushima were detectable all across the northern hemisphere. For the first 4 weeks, the radioactive materials remained confined to the northern hemisphere, with the equator initially acting as a dividing line between the northern and southern air masses. As of 13 April 2011, radioactivity had spread to the southern hemisphere of the Asia-Pacific region and has been detected at stations located, for example, in Australia, Fiji, Malaysia, and Papua New Guinea. It's on the polar caps too, both of them. It's gone everywhere. So when these dudes, and I've seen them do it through the whole over 11 years, or is it, I guess it's 11 years since Fukushima, I see them raising the allowable levels of radiation when our organic body material hasn't changed in its dynamics, right? If you couldn't drink a bottle of bleach last year, what is suddenly you're going to build up a tolerance for it and you could drink a whole bottle today? No, it's still going to be heavily toxic to your life systems. So this little cartoon just highlights what they've done. Oh, look, the radiation in our milk is above the safe limit. Oh, there, it's okay now. No, just as Termel was saying, it's a huge lie that low-level radiation is harmless. And as a matter of fact, the book he was going to begin reading from, Deadly Deceit, I had this book, so let me read you a quote. Now, Savannah River plant had several nuclear accidents that were more deadly, spewed more radiation into the environment than the one that we've all heard about, 3 Mile Island. But nobody talked about Savannah ever because, and let me read the quote, the government has admitted it kept the Savannah River plant accident secret for decades. Official spokesperson said this secrecy was part of a deeply rooted institutional practice dating from the first days of the Manhattan Project in 1942, which regarded outside disclosure of any incident at a nuclear weapons production plant as harmful to national security. In fact, the very law that established, sorry, my typo there, civilian control over nuclear technology with the creation of the Atomic Energy Commission, AEC, in 1947, also established a special category of restricted data that included all information concerning the manufacture or utilization of atomic weapons, the production of fissionable material, that means every single nuclear power plant out there, or the use of fissionable materials in the production of power. The disclosure of restricted data to unauthorized persons or parties was punishable by death. And they got the quotes for just how brutal these laws are from the Atomic Energy Act of 1946, Public Law 585, 79th Congress, 60 Stat pages 755 to 775, 42 USC 1801 to 1819. I don't think that's the date, but maybe it is. Section 10B. Okay? This is real. And that gets me to the frogs. Because isn't this really strange? It's supposed to be, depiction of 36 years after catastrophic event, Chernobyl nuclear disaster spawns mutant frogs. Now, Russia's been studying Black You and Me very in depth for many, many decades. I learned about them finding fungus growing inside the Chernobyl reactors that was black. And it was getting its energy, because they don't have any lights on and they don't have any grow bulbs. It was getting its energy from the reactor core, the destroyed reactor core itself. And I found it interesting that they sat on this information for about 15 years. It's not as if they couldn't have put this out all over the place. I wasn't talking about Fukushima at the time that they put that out, but I thought to myself, why take so damn long? Because they were studying. They were determining, you know what? This might talk Black people into being so boastful, so arrogant about their melanin that they don't realize melanin is not impervious to the effects of radiation. It does offer a very great protection against it, but it's not impervious. So when I look at this, little display here, I find it interesting. If the black frog is the result, and that's what they mean, the black frog is the creatures in Chernobyl that are surviving the best are the ones with the highest content of melanin. Yet, notice the direction of the frogs. Most societies read from left to right. And so it's automatic that you're going to go from, oh, this is where it starts to, this is where it ends. No, this is what the frog used to look like. This should be reversed. So I look and I say, this is some propaganda redirection here, where as Black people, when we read it, we're not going to necessarily see the subtle intention in the way that they laid this out, because whenever they have those depictions of, man going from primate to modern man, you don't see it reversed. This is the way that they put it together. And these dudes never, ever, it's like automatic, the insult where, oh, the darker, more monkey-like ones are at the very beginning, but then we get the white guy just popping up out of anywhere. Don't let me get started on that one. And so suddenly, this is reversed? No. These people are anal retentive control freakazoids extraordinaire, right? This, I haven't had a conversation with any of them, but the devil is gonna be the devil. So when I look at this, I look at them trying to blow some more smoke up our behinds so we will be caught out there unawares. So the brother who let me know about Minister Enqi's CMOS, he said that Minister Enqi is using as a, selling point, that the sea mosses and the sea vegetables are being used to sop up radiation from Fukushima. Yeah, but you're eating it, and if it reaches a saturation point, then it's not going to be sopping up any excess radiation inside of you. It's going to be unloading its bulk into your bodily systems because you're consuming it. You're chewing it, you're renting it apart, and it's not absorbing radiation on a molecular compound level, whereas cilantro and vitamin C, they do what they do on a molecular basis. The sea moss does it on a system wide level, which is a thoroughly different thing. So it is not against the law for any government anywhere to kill you with radiation. They'll just increase the allowable levels and tell everybody it's fine. Or they won't even alert you that there's anything to be concerned about whatsoever, as I've highlighted with this over and over again, how the FDA is allowing everything grown in Fukushima into the U.S. food streams. And that means it can be just an ingredient. It could be part of somebody's CMOS package. Minister Enqi isn't the only one who's selling CMOS, and I am not blaming him directly, though the brother's brilliant. There's no doubt he's brilliant. He should know about this stuff. Otherwise, he's not our life-sustaining type of brilliance that we need. But you got Cynthia G out there selling CMOS, and her. Oh yeah, sure, you could trust her, right? Even though at the same time, but there's been no lowering of the level of radiation in the soil when they evacuated 160,000 people because it was so contaminated. They're going to be growing food there, and they're not going to tell you that it has sucked up every single rad possible. And as radiation is the gift that keeps on giving, it turns everything around it radioactive. That's going to be in all of our foods. And so they don't want the world to take away their best weapon just because of a housewife in New Jersey. So don't fall for it. Don't fall for it. I don't know how many times I've shown the graph that you could have very little detectable radiation in the water, but in the sea vegetation itself, it will have 10,000 becquerels when only 50 becquerels of radiation has been determined by Dr. Bandashevsky, who did autopsies on the bodies of people who died from Chernobyl radiation. That's all you need is 50 becquerels per kilogram of your body weight to cause irreparable damage. So low-level radiation, that's what they put out there. And if you do a Google search, low-level radiation is no problem whatsoever. You've already seen the quote that comes directly out of this book and out of the congressional record, that if they tell the truth, they can get killed. All right? But this is a time when I'm so sorry. I don't think that these folks, either they're just daggone ignorant or they're just stupid as hell, right? Where they do not fully comprehend what they are on the side of. Death, murder, genocide? No, you don't go along with that. You fight that. Help me to fight on our behalf and have a daggone good time doing it too. This Black, amazing story. This Black Nation, all the edits are done. Absolutely phenomenal. I love this story. Oh, wow. And once again, I mean, this book was down. I didn't even think that the African American Black science fiction category could go that far down. But this book sure was hitting that bottom part. So this is how powerful your one purchase will be. I think just one person went and bought this book and propelled it all the way up to number 51. All right? I know you going and buying any of my books is sending a huge message to the world that everybody else could be sucking up the farts of whiteism, but we are done. So thank you for that sale. Little things like that Oh my goodness, they will inspire me to keep on going, because the devil, he will make sure his platforms look like there's no hope for us whatsoever. And I know that's not true. I know we are an amazing people, and we are not going to go out like that. Okay? So I wrote this, filled with the cures. You really need this book. You can read all. I'll give you the book list of all the things I've gotten. I've gotten bunches more since then, but this book right here will save you a whole lot of time and money. All right? Because I got a lot of reading to do, including reading our good brother Iapo Yapa's book, Melanin. We need to put him back up in there too, because that sends further demands that our stories represent who we really are as a beautiful and mighty people. And this brother has supported me every single day with not a variance in his support. Okay? I love him. He's the one who did all my covers. He's just amazing overall. So go. Do not leave your soldiers on the battlefield defenseless. All right? Straight black family pride, and we are gonna be fine. I love you. Peace and blessings.